Welcome back everyone to Art a la Carte. Today we're going to be looking at how to draw a pixie. So pixies are a smaller kind of a sprite, so I would draw them a little bit lankier. So I would give them a nice size head, but when I start to begin to draw their bodies, I'm going to draw them out a little bit longer. Probably my closest reference for how I would think pixies would be in Disney's Fantasia, where they had the little snow pixies and things like that. This just kind of seemed to me how a pixie would be. So I'm going to build those in chest shape, abdomen, and hips, put in my shoulders, and I'm going to go ahead and lay in where I would want my arms to be. And instead of being kind of where I would normally stop for a forearm or an upper arm, I'm going to make it a little bit longer. What this is going to cause is when she's fully drawn out, she's going to be off just slightly, which is going to make people think of her differently. By changing the proportions on things just a little bit, causes them to be a little bit more fantasy. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the legs. I'll put the hip joints in there. I'm going to bring in the legs, but a lot longer, and bring them back for her feet. Any of you guys who read the old school Sailor Moon comics, kind of that body portion is very pixie-like looking to me. They had these just unreal long legs and super long arms. They were very not of this world. They were from the moon, so anyway, shout out to Sailor Moon. Yay! Okay, so now that I have this kind of skeleton shape, stick shape of what I want in here, I'm going to go ahead and just lay in the body shape around this. Not worried about costuming or outfit right now, just the outline. And I wouldn't think that pixies would have a lot of curves to them, at least in my drawings. Not a lot of curves. Now you also see that I will sometimes turn my papers if I'm trying to get a certain kind of a line. So feel free to, if you need to flip your paper around, do that to get that line that you need. And even their toes on their feet are just going to be a little bit long. In fact, I'm going to bring them into a point. I'll put them on kind of little pixie shoes. So I have that one. Just like so. Okay. And then bring down my arms. I'm going to keep them very twig-like, so not a lot of meat. The reason is because they're flying around all the time. They're going to have to be very scrawny to be able to fly on their little pixie wings. Maybe if I had a little bat pixie, they could be a little bit stockier. I guess they'd have a stronger wing, or like a bird-winged pixie could probably carry. But if they have those just little like dragonfly wings, they're going to need to be just that kind of stick-like features. And of course, because they're imaginary, it doesn't have to follow any kind of law of physics. But I kind of try to think about, you know, if they were real, how would that work? How would that be? Now I know I'm skipping a lot of the features, like drawing hands. I actually have videos on how to draw hands. So if there's a certain something that you're like, oh, she didn't really talk about how to draw that, first look and check to see if I already have a video out on that, or you can always just leave a request, and I might do that up in the future. But chances are, there's a good chance that I might already have that video up. I have a lot of people asking for requests, and I already have that video, so I get to tell them, yep, it's there. Just go watch it. So, alright, and then I'm going to put in my head. I'm not going to put a lot of detail on the head right now. Just kind of block that in just a little bit. So there we have our pixie shape. So I'm going to take my trusty eraser, and I'm going to erase my lines that I don't need. Now comes the fun part of designing the Pixies costume, which obviously she's not going to have like a supermodel to go shopping with. So she's going to have to find things around in nature to be able to dress in. So I like to take like flower petals and make them into her skirt. So I'm going to lay in some different petals here. And of course, depending on how big your pixies are, obviously some pixies might be too big. But she's a little pixie, so she can have a little flower petal skirt. So then I can take my eraser and erase those lines that I don't need. Okay, so there she's got her little pixie skirt. And then I think about her little pixie shirt, and I'm going to have kind of like a leaf top here, kind of coming down and wrapping around here on this side. And then I'll have the same thing over here, just a leaf here. You could just have so much fun kind of looking around in nature and seeing what kind of things are out there. How could that be made into like little fairy clothes? So here she has her little leaf top. You can add a little shading in there to kind of put a little bit of contour to that. Okay, and then for her little shoes, I'm going to give her little flower boots. Sewn together with spider webs. With little dewdrop gems on them, I don't know. Alright, then comes her cute hair. So this is where you can get really creative, because obviously you can have short hair or long hair or curly hair or straight hair or poofy hair. I'm going to give her kind of some poofy but long hair. So when I draw my hair, I don't draw it strand by strand, I draw just the shape of it. And again, you can get that nice motion going on in there. And don't be afraid to overlap some things. Overlapping, you might think, oh, but I worked so hard on that shoe. But if you overlap some of the hair over top of that, it just makes everything fit together a little bit. It makes it look like it all belongs. You can even take a little bit of her hair and bring it down in front of her arm there. It just ties it on. It doesn't look like it's just kind of pasted on there. It looks like it's part of her. Maybe I'll put some little flowers in the top of her head here. A little flower headband. There we go. And then let's work on her face here. I'm going to go ahead and use my sharpened pencil here. And I'm just going to really very, very lightly block in where her eyes will be. And then I can begin to then go back in and kind of put in those details. Little nose. And coming down for a little kind of pixie mouth right there. Okay, fix her cheek a little bit. So we have her face and her costume all done. So the last thing is to add her wings. And of course there's tons of varieties of types of wings, from just totally imaginary wings to wings kind of based on something out of nature like butterfly wings. But I'm going to go ahead and give her kind of a dragonfly wing. So I'm going to very just lightly just draw in that kind of dragonfly shape. One here and one here. Just like so. And I do it lightly because then I can go back and erase the lines that I don't want to show. I want to do back behind her. And then I can take my pencil and I can kind of darken those lines in a little bit. And like at the tip here, I'm going to just a little bit of a dark tip on her wing and kind of along the top ridge. It's going to be where the strength of the wing is. And then I'm just going to put this really fun kind of design in. If you haven't studied or looked at a dragonfly wing, they have got some amazing wings. They just have these just awesome patterns in them. They're just kind of webbed together. And they're all different and unique. It's super cool. Okay, so we have our fairy kind of drawn out. So the only thing to do really is you can add some detail. You could add your detail in with colored pencils, crayons, markers, even some paints if you did this on a kind of a thicker paper. But I'm just going to use my pencil just to kind of shade in some things for right now. Remember, when you add shadowing to something, darkening it in generally pushes things back. So when you want to find things that you want to push back, just add a little bit more shading to that. So that pushes her hair back and brings the front of her out. It also adds a really good contrast so that there's a dark here and a light here. It helps the viewer to be able to distinguish those a little bit easier. So adding that shading there. Instead of just coloring everything the same shade, darken and lighting, getting a gradient in there really helps. So I want this back leg to be pushed back just a little bit. I'm going to darken that in just a bit. Just a little bit of shading around her arms there. And I might put some color to her belt just to kind of draw a little bit of attention to that. Maybe we'll put a little dewdrop right here. A little gem right there. There we go, our little fairy. So I just want to tell you thank you for drawing with me. I really appreciate all of the people that have been watching these videos, leaving me comments, and just being encouraging, suggestions on videos they'd like to see. Especially everyone who has posted their pictures on my Facebook wall so I get to see them. I absolutely adore seeing what you guys draw. It is so much fun. So if you haven't done that yet, I will leave the link in the description box below so that you can find my Facebook page, and then you will be able to post your own pictures of your drawings there so everyone gets a chance to see them. I think it's great when artists share what they do, so that's very fun. So thank you. If you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you liked this video and would like to see more, I have quite a few videos out there, so be sure to check them out, and that'd be fun. So thanks again for drawing with me. I'll draw with you again in our next video. Until then, God bless you. Have a great day. Keep drawing, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.